The truth about being 100% financial provider. I work a full-time job. You know what I'm saying? 223, so it's 2 on, 2 off type shit. I work half the month. I have absolutely no days off. So the days that I do go to work, I clock in at the battery plant, 12-hour shifts, then I come the hell home. My days off, like today, yesterday, I get up early in the morning and I go do Amazon Flex. I got up early this morning. I went and did Amazon Flex. I came home. I took a shower, put on some clothes, took my family out to the water park, Emerald Points. We spent a couple of hours out there, left at Emerald Point, came home again, changed clothes, went to a Chinese restaurant, did a buffet there, came home again. I took a little nap. Then I put this shit back on, and I'm doing Amazon Flex again. In the meantime, I had my neighbor. Where they at? Where they at? Over there with that red truck right there. I had them come over here and cut my lawn. So I ain't got to do that. That saved me a little bit of time. And I'm carrying my ass back to work. That's the truth about being 100% provider. You know what I'm talking about? There's always go time. Either you dig on doing for your family, you at your real job, or you at some other type of side hustle. In between, you might get to take a nap. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't complaining. This is what I chose to do. You know what I'm saying? I chose a wife who had a job at the moment. And I was like, you know what? I don't want you to have to work. My wife has Graves' disease. Let that be clear. She has Graves' disease, so she got to go through a whole lot of shit. She get dizzy spells and all type of shit. I don't want her to have to work. So I was like, look, I will pay you what you was getting at your job. I pay you that every Friday if you just stay home, take care of the house. And she take real good care of the house. I keep up my part. I clock in, I clock in, I clock in, and I clock in. I go get that bread, and I make sure that we are always straight. I schedule vacations and all that shit. We going on another cruise at the end of this month. Truth about.
Yo, shout out to all of the guys that's out here hustling and going to get it to make sure that their family is provided for and all of that. Couple different things that I don't necessarily agree with, but first, before I get into all of that, I just want to say salute to him, salute to the hustlers, because this is what I've always known men to be. My father was like this. My grandfather on both of my sides, my mother and my father's side, was like this. They always worked. They worked 7 days a week. They never knew what 40 hours looked like, and they went and got it. But the thing that I first disagreed with is when he said that he paid her exactly what it is that she was making at her job when she quit. That don't make sense to me because y'all married, and so it all goes into the same pot. And y'all just got to make sure that y'all manage the whole thing correctly and just play y'all roles correctly. I don't understand. I'm gonna pay you thing. Now, if you want to give her some money or make sure that she got some money to do what she got to do so that she feels some level of independence, it don't always got to come out of the same account. Y'all don't only have to have one account. Then that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. But to make sure that I'm paying you based off of what you was making at your previous job, and that's what you'd have been doing before I got there, is wild to me. I never understood the dudes that said that I'm gonna pay you for this. Now, if you own a business and you moving money around differently in order to make sure that you reduce your taxes, I get that again. And I also want to take into consideration that she said she got, or he said she got Graves' disease. I don't know what Graves' disease is. I'm not even going to look it up. I'm not even interested in doing that level of research. Sounds grave. So, you got to give grace. But again, paying somebody to sit at home or to just take care of the house, I don't agree with that because then that means that's true separation of how y'all are supposed to be moving. That's more of like a her money is her money and my money is our money. No, it all goes into the same pot. And it don't matter if I don't make a whole lot of money or if I make a ton of money, it all goes into the same pot, in my opinion. And that's when y'all know that y'all truly working together, which also feeds into the conversation about 50-50. Because unless y'all coming into it much later in the game where he is super established and she may not be as established, but usually she trying to get with a dude that do way better than her so that she can at some point try to retire from what it is that she's doing and he can just take care of everything. I don't necessarily agree with the notion, the idea, the mindset behind 50-50 is because regardless of what you make, and you should be striving to be productive in general, whether you don't make anything because you're a stay-at-home mother because you take care of the children full time, or you are going to work because the children are in school full time, and you still want to have a career, or you want to have something that's productive, or y'all don't have no children at all. And then he obviously always needs to be working because I don't believe in house husbands. I believe in traditional family values. It all is one pot. So what is this 50-50 thing where, okay, we going to split it straight down the middle? And I'm not telling y'all what y'all can and can't do in y'all relationships. I'm just asking the question because there's always a conversation about it. But I think that that's for people that's shacking up and they don't truly understand the benefits of marriage, right? On top of that, let me say a couple more points. First, guys that provide 100%, I think that those are the true heroes that don't wear capes. And I'm not talking about simping. I'm not talking about just giving her a bunch of money just because and she's not productive and she don't have no children. I'm talking about y'all building together, y'all playing traditional roles. You understand that it ain't no days off. There are no days off. Most of the time, you have a side hustle, you got a second job, or you working a lot of overtime and you going to get it, and you doing all of the things that gives your family the freedom to be able to live the life that they want. And I always say I gotta salute y'all because that's very much been what my entire life is. Back when I went broke, went and got a second job working at Home Depot, stocking shelves overnight. While at the same time, I went and got that call center job and went back to school until I could do better. And then I wound up building something and all of that. And y'all, most of y'all know what all of the story is. So for those of y'all that may not be familiar with the beginning of my origin story, tap into the Millionaire Morning Show, and often at times I'll go through some of the things and you can piece it together. But we do. We don't take any days off. There are no days off ever, ever. You are always on 100% of the time. Which it'd be hard for me to feel sorry for women that complain that the kids is always they always need something. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. That's why we working together. That's why we exchanging strengths for weaknesses. That's why, I go out and I grind so that you don't have to do both. You know what I'm saying? That's why, it's important for y'all to raise children in a married household where, both parents are in a house together so they can see the masculine and feminine energy because your children have a much greater opportunity to be great themselves and also to mimic, that family, that strong family structure. But we got so many broken households. We got so many people that is trying to remix what God has put together, and it's not conducive for what it is that we're trying to build and what you should be trying to build in this society and in this culture. And so, when I see guys like him, I think that that's dope. It is the life that he chose. I still think that your wife should be productive. I think that they have to have a sense of purpose. He didn't really mention how many kids they got or anything like that. But there were some women I seen in the comments of this video, and I always like to link back to the content creator in order to give credit also, regardless of whether I agree with him or not. There were people in the comments of the video that was saying, no, I couldn't have my man working like that because I don't want him dead tired. I don't want him is what it is. There's some guys like me, you just can't slow down. It is what it is. You're not going to stop me from hustling. You're not going to stop me from going to get it. You're not going to stop me from doing and getting all of the extras from my family in order to ensure that they are taken care of. And that's just the way that it is. So what you should do is just make it ideal for me when I get home so that the time that we spending together, it'll actually be enjoyable instead of me having to work and to make sure that you feel good about your emotions. You need to get that shit together before I get there. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. It's funny because the video right before this that I reacted to, the woman was complaining that the guy had gave her everything and she was being treated like a princess. Well, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link to the Patreon is in the description of the video. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I can't wait to read y'all comments.